Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, to talk about the 2023 NBA Draft that has just finally concluded after starting at 8 p.m., just ended at 12:50 a.m. on this early Friday. So we're going to go over all the picks from the first round here, the first 30. And then I'll do another video going over. I might just do the whole. I'll just do the whole 58 picks in this round. But the first overall pick was kind of obvious. Victor Wembanyama goes to the San Antonio Spurs with the number 1 overall pick. This was definitely not a surprise to anyone, because they weren't just gonna get somebody else. But that's been the projected player for months. Spurs are now getting another big man. They've had a few pretty good ones in the past with David Robertson and Tim Duncan. Now they get another one here, Victor Wembanyama. What do the Spurs do to deserve this? The Spurs don't deserve to have another elite future big man. That's crazy. But he has the handle for a 7'5". He's basically point guard, 7'5", like point forward. Can shoot the 3. Obviously, he can dunk. I don't need to mention that. But I'm not going to say he's the best. He's going to be like one of the best players ever, like the best prospect ever. You'll just have to see that when he plays. It's kind of too early to say that because he hasn't even played an NBA game yet. We have to just calm ourselves on the Victor Wembanyama, is he one of the best players, going to be one of the best players ever? Have to see when he plays. So the Hornets go with Brandon Miller with the number 2 overall pick, and Woj kind of took a little bit of a shot at Shams here, saying, it was a nail-biter who they were going to take, basically, between Scoot and Brandon Miller. But he said all along the entire Charlotte Hornets organization has been all in on Brandon Miller. The ownership, front office, scouts, coaches, they see him as a perennial future all-star player. But I feel like Scoot has more potential than Brandon Miller. I really do. MJ had to make his final pick, but maybe his skill set does pair LaMelo. I get they needed a wing, and they get a big wing that has the upside to defend, but we'll see. But all along, I guess MJ wanted Brandon Miller. I think it's an enormous sale, though. I think Scoot has more potential. I get they need a wing. I'm just not sure about Brandon Miller in the NBA. I think Scoot has more potential. I think he'll be a way better player. I think Scoot should have been the pick here. I think they'll regret it. And I'm not just basing it off the tournament. I just don't buy into Brandon Miller. Number 3, the Blazers. They wanted Scoot Henderson pairing with Dame Dolla. And they take Scoot Henderson with the number 3 overall pick. Kind of obvious after Brandon Miller went 2. Scoot was going to go 3. And I think it's a good pick to pair with Damian Lillard. If Damian Lillard will stay there, which I think he will, they're going to have a good core. Over there, number 4, the Rockets take Amen Thompson. And then the other Thompson brother goes number 5. So the Thompson brothers go back-to-back. I really thought the Pistons would take a power forward here, but I kind of realized they have a lot of big men with Jalen Duren, Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman. So this was a good pick, I thought. Number 6, the Magic take Anthony Black, another guard. So that tells me they're going to trade Jalen Suggs most likely. Number 7, the Pacers take Bilal Coulibaly, but he's traded to the Wizards. In a swap, the number 8, the Wizards drafted Jarace Walker and traded him to the Pacers. And Bilal Coulibaly is traded to the Wizards. So the Wizards get Coulibaly, and the Pacers get Walker. Number 9, the Jazz take Taylor Hendricks, a good 3-and-D player. At number 10, the Mavericks, in a trade to the Thunder, swapping 10 and 12. The Mavericks selected Cason Wallace for the Thunder, so the Thunder, their defense is going to be nasty over there. Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Josh Giddey. They're going to have some good defensive guards for the future. I really love that pick. Kind of biased on the Kentucky fan. Number 11, the Magic took Jack Howard. I had Jack Howard going in the first round, but I really didn't have him going at 11. I think it's kind of high. He can play the 3, so he is a guard, but he can play the 3. He's a great three-point threat, but he needs to get more efficient. I feel like he can rebound better for a 6'8" foot guard. The Thunder take Derek Lively, which he's traded to the Mavericks in that swap. The Raptors take Grady Dick, one of the best shooters in this draft, in my personal opinion. Number 14, the Pelicans take Jordan Hawkins, the national champion at UConn. Number 15, the Hawks is definitely a W pick here in Kobe Buffkin. First bit of the season, he wasn't really good, but the second half, he really improved, and he goes in the top 15. Jazz take Keontae George. Jalen Hood-Schifino at 17. He has some games where he's like 1 for 15, and another game he'll be really good. Kind of inconsistent, but I think he'll improve that at the NBA. Back to Keontae George. He has some deep range. And has nice handles, so that's all I'll say about him. Yami Jaquez Jr. out of UCLA. To the Heat at 18. My Golden State Warriors here at 19 select Brandon Podozimski out of Santa Clara. At first I'm like, who is this? And I look at his stats, and it's like 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, 43% from 3. He's a white boy and can shoot. The Warriors, they like the three-point shooter, so it doesn't surprise me they took him. But I think this has the potential to be a good player. Averages solid 19 and 8 with 43% from 3. Jump shot may not look pretty, but hey, it goes in. Kind of looks like an off-brand D-Lo jump shot. But I like the pick, I really do. 20, the Rockets got to steal the draft here, at least in the first round, with Kim Whitmore. Some teams didn't take him, I think, because of the injury concerns. But some teams might regret not taking Cam Whitmore. He probably has the most NBA ready body, physical shape. But he's just a great player overall, highly athletic. I don't know why teams passed on him, because of, I guess, the injury concerns or something. 21, the Nets take Noah Clowney. 22, the Nets take Drake Whitehead. 23, the Blazers take Chris Murray. I think he's a good player. Needs to improve that three-point shot, though. Only 33% in college. But he definitely improved this past season, averaging 20 points per game. Number 24, Olivier Maxence Prosper, but that trade goes to the Dallas Mavericks. Number 26, or number 25, the Grizzlies, Marcus Sasser. He's traded to Detroit. Made the first team all, I believe, NCAA last season, or first team All-American. And he was really good throughout his whole career there. Even led that team to the number 1 ranking last season. Number 26, Pacers take Ben Shepherd. So that was one of the underrated players I've seen on a TikTok with 3 underrated players in this draft. One of them was Ben Shepherd out of Belmont. He can really shoot, so that's all I know. 27, the Hornets get Nick Smith Jr. I know he was maybe playing injured last season. That kind of affected his play, but now he's healthy. I think he'll get back to doing good this year. This upcoming NBA season. 28, the Jazz take Bryce Sensabaugh. The Pacers take Julian Strawther, which trade to the Nuggets, so another good talented young player there for Denver. 30, the Clippers take Kobe Brown out of Mizzou. And that was the end of your first round, so I think the biggest steal of this first round, in my opinion, was Cam Whitmore. I don't know what the biggest reach was. I don't know if there was any big reaches in the first round. Maybe Jack Howard on 11 was a bit high, but I don't know. Let's get to the round 2 here. James Nagy, 7-foot center. Originally drafted Pistons, he gets traded to the Celtics. Number 32, Jalen Pickett out of Penn State. Had a lot of big games last season for the Nittany Lions. He's traded to the Nuggets. There's from Indiana, and he's traded to the Nuggets. Spurs take Leonard Miller, traded to the T-Wolves. One of the most underrated players in this class, man. 34, the Hornets. That's traded to the Kings. Colby Jones to the Kings. Celtics originally, it's traded to the Wizards, Julian Phillips, but then it's traded to the Chicago Bulls, and the Wizards get a few second-round picks in return. Magic originally but this pick is traded to the Bucks. Andre Jackson Jr., another part of that championship team. He's not really a three-point threat, but he does everything else pretty well, so I think he'll contribute good on that Magic team. But another guard for the Magic. This pick at 37 originally was the Thunder's pick, but traded to the Nuggets. Hunter Tyson, I believe first team All ACC this past year, had his best season at Clemson. Kings, Jordan Walsh, the original pick, but it's traded to the Celtics. He doesn't really have an offensive game, but he's a lockdown defender, which the Celtics can use. Mohamed Gay, or Guey, I think it's how they pronounce his name, Mohamed Gay. He was originally drafted by the Hornets, traded to Atlanta. Maxwell Lewis, originally the Nuggets pick, it's traded to the Lakers. Man, this dude was so good. He can score on all three levels. He was so good at Pepperdine. I don't know how he fell to 40. Number 41, Amari Bailey at 41 for the Hornets. Wizards take Tristan Uvekovic at 42. I don't know how you say his name. Blazers take Rayan Rupert. I really didn't think he'd fall to 43 based on some mock drafts I saw. That was kind of shocking. Spurs take City Sissoko at 44. Grizzlies with G.G. Jackson, Gregory Jackson at 45. Seth Lundy to the Hawks at 46. Mojave King, originally from the Lakers to the Pacers. That's an elite name, Mojave King. Clippers, Jordan Miller, 49. Cavaliers, one of the steals of the draft here, at least in the second round. Two of the biggest steals were Imani Bates, Maxwell Lewis, and Trace Jackson Davis. Three of the biggest steals in this draft, in my opinion. Imani Bates is such a big-time scorer, and that's what the Cavs need off the bench. They could use, and if he can do what he did at Eastern Michigan this past year on the Cavs, that could be some really good quality bench scoring. 50, the Thunder take Keontae Johnson. The Nets take Jalen Wilson at 51. Suns to Monty Camara, but it's traded to the Wizards. 13 and 8 on 54% shooting. I think it's a good pick for the Wizards. Jalen Clark at 53. Jalen Slauson. Our T-Wolves take Jalen Clark at 53. Kings take Jalen Slauson. Jalen Slauson at 54. Isaiah Wong to the Pacers at 55. Tariq Belevovich, or how you say his name, goes to Memphis. Wizards, they originally take Trace Jackson Davis, but he's traded to my Golden State Warriors. I thought we had a good draft with these two draft picks here. Taking Brandon Podomzevsky, or whatever his last name is, and then Trace Jackson Davis, who averaged like 21 and 11 on 59% shooting in Iowa. And then Chris Livingston, Kentucky boy, gets taken with the last pick in the draft to the Milwaukee Bucks. Sadly, my boy Oscar Tshiebwe didn't get drafted. But at least we got two Kentucky players drafted tonight. But that's all the picks in the NBA draft. I thought there was a lot of teams that had good drafts. I'll probably do some videos over the coming days of the biggest steals of the draft and like the teams that had the best drafts. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So until next time, peace.